Okay, I would imagine you want to be done with complex numbers because they seem too complex, and you'd rather keep it real. But we're not quite done yet. Let's do a couple more examples. First, I will do this division problem and write the answer in standard form. Multiply by the conjugate. There really isn't a better way to divide complex numbers until we get to Chapter 8 or Chapter 9. Okay, so I multiply the bottom by FOIL first. Outer, 2 times negative 5, I get negative 10i. Inner gives me plus 10i. Last gives me negative 25i squared. And then on the top, I get 6 minus 15i minus 8i, and then plus 20i squared. Okay, now the bottom, the I should go away. So the middle terms cancel. That should always happen because this pattern is the difference between two squares. And then 4 minus 25i squared. Well, I squared is negative 1. So 4 plus 25, I get 29. And on the top, the negative 15 and the negative 8, that's going to give me negative 23i. And then 6, and then here I have plus 20i squared. The I squared is negative 1 again, so that gives me minus 20. 6 minus 20 is going to be negative 14. Okay? Then I split this up. And always be careful because sometimes at the very end you might be able to reduce. And actually, since I'm trying to put this in standard form, I guess I should put the imaginary part on the right and put the real part out in front. So I have negative 14 over 29, and then minus or plus a negative 23 over 29i. Okay? Last problem I want to do for you like that, and then I'll show you why we're doing all this. Well, I have I to the 5th plus I to the 20th plus I to the 18th. So let's split these up into I to the 4th times I plus I to the 20th is good the way it is because it's already divisible by 4. And then plus I to the 18th, let's do 16 and 2. I always want to look for the largest power divisible by 4 that I can. Well, I to the 4th is just 1, so I get 1 times I. I to the 20th is just 1, so I have 1. Plus, I to the 16th is 1, so I have 1 times I squared, and I squared is negative 1. So I have 1 plus 1 times negative 1, those cancel. This didn't have anybody to cancel with, so I have just 1i or I, and then 1 plus negative 1, cancel, gone. So that's my answer. And it's much nicer to write than I to the 5th plus I to the 20th times I to the 18th. Now, when are you going to use this? Well, you might use this in the following way. Let's say that you're solving the quadratic formula, and you end up with something like this under your square root, negative 9. What you might do in that situation, you would take the negative and write that as I. You split the 9 up, you think of it as negative 1 times 9, and then the negative 1 becomes an I, and your 9 can be square rooted then, and you get 3i. Okay? Or maybe you would have something like negative 12 being square rooted. You would split that up into, you would think of it as negative 1 times 12. The negative 1 becomes an I, and you get root 12, which we all know, and we'll practice this more later. 12 can be rewritten as 4 times 3, or 2i, whoops, it's kind of ugly there, 2i times root 3. Okay? So I hope you have a great day, and hope you use your imagination. Ha ha!